to get comfortable. All right, welcome to We Read Wednesday. And when I say we, that means you and I and everybody else. Shh, don't tell anyone. So I have been waiting to read this with you guys. I did read ahead, and I have to say it's getting quite exciting. I have made a little bit of notes. So let's see. Can't read my own handwriting. Laugh out loud. Someone famously on YouTube once said, "You love to be rich. You have to be rich to read or have time to read." Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I don't know. That's really not important. Myself to read a chapter. That's how little time I have. Oh, I had to schedule Wednesdays so I can read my book to have time to read. So I'm definitely not rich. I'm lucky if I have $5 in my account. Okay. So yeah, that was just a little napkin note for myself. And what's this say? Oh yes, I have to let you know that these few chapters that I'm going to read are graphic and very descriptive. And if you can't handle it, graphic and descriptive and gross and gory, please don't stick here with me for this chapter. Thanks. This is just a quick disclaimer. That was my little note to you guys. Shh, don't tell anyone. Okay, so let me go on to the next chapter here. I also want to let you know that today is Wednesday, the 31st of August. If you did not know that already, sometimes when I'm so busy, I do lose days of the week. It just kind of all just loops together. So moving along, Teresa, and I was able to get the spelling of her name. Let's see if I can remember what I did with it. Okay, I made notes because I knew that I was going to need help with this when I started reading today. Her name is Steingart. So Teresa Steingart, that's how they pronunciate it. There is a person by the name of Salinger. So it looks like Salinger to me, but it's Salinger. So someone will have the name Salinger. And then there's a word coming up, triliflomene. It's an extremely long word. See it? Trimethylene. So I had to look those three words out just to make sure I was saying them properly. And what that is, it's a chemical compound. The molecule constructive C6H3N formula. Yeah. So just kind of giving you a heads up on that. Okay. So without further ado, let's get this going because I only have 30 minutes. We left off on page 150. Today we're going to start at 151. So Copernicus Security. Arrest report. Intercept 61775. DNA record ID 771-1COP17. Arrest 38374JD. Arresting officer Randall Blythe Sargent. Arrestee, Mark Morton, age 31. Corinza refugee, ident KR985COP. Consumed drugs, alcohol, yes, no. And as you can see, it says no or yes. Which is it? If armed, type of weapon, pipe wrench, screwdriver. Charge, murder first degree, 4 counts. Narrative. At 23:45 shipboard, myself and Corporal Adler were called to a disturbance in temporary domicile Green-12B. The habitat was sealed. Residents of neighboring domiciles reported brief screaming from within some 15 minutes prior. Utilizing all access clearance, Corporal Allender and myself entered the domicile. Suppressors out and up. The body of the first victim, Marianne Morton, age 29, KR 986 COP, was found near the front of the door. 0 lifespan on bioscan. Brief inspection revealed the victim's head had been crushed by blunt force trauma. Spray patterns on walls suggested repeat blows. Second victim, Stephanie Morton, age 12, KR 987 COP, and third victim, Oliver Morton, age 8, KR 988 COP, were also discovered in this room. 0 life sign on bioscan. Brief inspection revealed multiple similar wounds on skull, chest, and resulting from blunt force trauma. Second and third victims' eyes had been removed. Infrared bioscan revealed one life sign in the domicile's bedroom. Corporal Allender announced our presence and asked the resident, later identified as Mark Morton, to exit the bedroom with hands raised. Residents replied that we were with them and demanded we not look at them. Resident became increasingly agitated, in my experience displaying psychosis similar to trimethylene addicts. So it's some type of crystal drug, usually for those with like schizophrenia. Finally, exiting the bedroom, covered head to foot with blood, with weapons raised. Corporal Adler and I discharged our suppressors, scoring 4 different hits to resident's torso region, all of which failed to subdue the resident. The resident closed to striking range, and I was forced to engage in hand-to-hand combat. And with the aid of Corporal Adler, I managed to subdue the residents. Corporal Adler is still in critical condition due to injuries sustained during this altercation. With the resident restrained, I called for backup and proceeded into the bedroom, where I discovered the remains of the 4th victim, Julian Morton, age 4, KR 989 COP. Victim's eyes had also been removed. On this, I had been reading. It says something, come back, please, something, I can't read all of it, make you stay forever. So the little scribbles look like they were from a little kid, and I tried to read through it. Something, the ship, I'm a good girl. And this is page 53. So believe it or not, I'm already into 9 minutes of this and I still have more to read. So I'm going to move really quick. Copernicus. Memorandum for Captain Riker from Teresa Steingart, Chief Medical Officer, Copernicus, WUC-7891, intercept 1447, 7775. Phobos. Phobos was a deity, son of Ares and twin bro of Deimos, god of dread. Phobos, he was the god of, I believe, fear. Related to Greek mythology, 510. Yeah, okay. So I just put that down for myself. Alrighty then. Here we go. In answer to your question, yes, it's mutating. You're talking about a closed loop with recycled air supplies and almost 2,000 more people than are supposed to be on board, all breathing each other's air and contaminating each other's space. The Copernicus has essentially become a giant petri dish. Second question, no, we can't. I can only presume biotech intended to be an urban pacification device. The virus originally attacked the fear center of the brain, inducing catatonia. So you hit an urban population with it, everyone falls over paralyzed for over 24 to 48 hours, and the troops roll in with zero resistance. But now the virus appears to be attacking the synaptic gap, along with the serotonin reuptake mechanisms, doing damage similar to what you're going to see in long-term dust addicts. It's essentially psychosis in a bottle. The damage is permanent. Anyone who goes down is not coming back. Third, I don't think I can. I really want to, but I just can't get away. Maybe tomorrow. I miss you too, Teresa. So Teresa's on the ship with all these other people that are infected. So I'm sure that there's going to be carriers, and then I'm sure that there are going to be those that are actually experiencing the psychosis. And so I think they're going to end up going against each other. Yeah. Martini with the cat. I have no idea what that was about. Cat-tini. Don't know. I just remember reading it. Laboratory report. Science Officer Tobias Salinger, MD. Teresa Steingart, assisting. Hour 14, intercept 7/12/75. Subject 72 is displaying behavior patterns typical of early Phobos alpha victims. And if my phone cuts out, I do apologize, and I hope to see you on the next one. Increased adrenaline levels, heart palpitations, hyperventilation, tremors, general unease, nameless dread. Symptoms typically manifest 12 to 24 hours after initial infection with alpha strain. Symptoms of mutated strain, which we have named Phobos beta, appear to be more rapid in onset. The latest batch of lab rats Dr. Steingart infected displayed psychotic tendencies within 8 hours. I theorize Phobos alpha was designed to be spread by initially encouraging minor fear responses and only debilitates its carrier with time, initially and insidiously. Victims will seek out contact with others, particularly loved ones, in an attempt to deal with the dread, like a frightened infant might seek its mother. The victim often seeks physical comfort, holding hands and embraces, ultimately increasing the chances of spreading infection. It's genius, really awful, horrifying genius. Looks like they're looking at a file, and this file says subject 72, and it gives the name Lalani Taylor. Thalamus relates to sleep alertness and wake alertness. Body sense except smell must process through the thymus before being sent to brain. Cerebral cortex. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Subject, hour 22. Subject 72 has entered a state of full catatonia. Symptoms include muscle rictus, lowered heart rate, and core temperature, limited limited pupillary response. Wow, try to say that one fast. Lack of proper equipment and trained personnel make this theory difficult to confirm, but I suspect infection initially targets the sensory cortex and not the thymulus, as Dr. Stenger suggested. However, we both agree that the effect on the amygdala, which decodes emotions and determines possible threats, is profound. Afflicted people will often convince themselves they are not afflicted or actively avoid treatment for fear of punishment, persecution, the isolation of quarantine. I had intended to begin comparing the cellular resistances of alpha and beta. However, one of the assistants, Jane, lovely girl, dropped an entire batch of beta-infected blood work on the floor. Glass everywhere. Not her fault, really. There's too many of us crowded in here. So when I'm reading this, I feel he's kind of like nonchalantly saying this. Not her fault, really. There's too many of us crowded in here. I was considering sending them all off to get some sleep, but if we don't crack this, nobody will. Besides, it's good to be around people. The thought of being alone right now is terribly disconcerting. And then, you take into account everything was just dropped on the floor. Okay, so it spreads quicker. Subject 72 is still in the state of paralysis, BPM, and breathing below half human norms. I have reviewed Dr. Steigert's work on the damage the virus inflicts on synaptic vessels and found several errors. Oh, look, there's a dot on the file. Oh, several errors. It's all like crazy cockeyed here. I swear the woman wouldn't know a compass from a hippopotamus. One would think that since she's co-authoring this report, she'd spend more time help. Oh my goodness. One would think she's co-authoring this report, she'd spend more time helping with it instead of enjoying our captain's company. Oh, so somebody's getting a little bit almost like combative, delusional, I don't know. Someone more paranoid. Yeah, that's the word. More prone to paranoid. Someone more prone to paranoia might suspect she's simply looking to steal my work and publish it herself, presuming we ever make it to a bloody jump gate. Presuming they want us to make it to a jump gate. Hour 28, subject 72 showing minor muscle movement. Heart rate increased 12% in the last 30 minutes. Body's immune system is fighting the pathogen. As previously surmised, alpha strain was never intended to permanently disable victims. Still, subject 72 is displaying remarkable resilience for something so inherently weak. 23 of us packed in this tiny lab, 46 eyes, sweating away in these flimsy hazmat suits, so thin, so feeble, so little between it and us and it. My foot hurts, my skin itches. Jane asked if I was well. Nosy little snip. None of her business. Couldn't tell her, though. No. Smile and nod, smile and nod, 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 nod. One of the assistants, can't remember his name, Robbins, talks to himself beneath his breath as he works. Thinks no one can hear him, but I can. I hear. I see. Oh, God. Hour 29. Stargart finally got back into the lab. I wonder if she had time to shower. I'm at 20 minutes, guys. I have 3 more pages I wanted to read to you, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it short. So I'll let you see a little glimpse of the next page, and we're stopping at 158. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much for visiting Bolo Up. Come back again real soon. I'll see you next We Read Wednesday. But I will let you look at this Actually, we'll stop on this page. Wonder if I smell the captain's stink if I peeled that suit open. She's off dining in Wrecker's quarters and whispering her lies about me, and meanwhile I'm stuck down here with these ignorant monkeys muttering to themselves and blinking each other with their eyes, and all the while things are getting worse, and no one is doing anything to stop it but me. Jane is looking at me again with those pretty green floating things floating in her head. Stop looking at me. 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 Everything.